I'm gonna try to make it. That which one was that? That was the shit, I didn't see so many postings. I didn't forget. Where's this one at? I think I'm confusing that with the speed dating one because that was what a month or so ago, right?
Yeah, that was September. So now we doing we partner with Marcus Jones, the owner of Pizza Bar, and he a big developer, and
Right.
he a GC too. So we
Okay.
are doing classes at his spot. So we doing real estate Fridays. The topic tomorrow is how to close a deal
Okay.
or something like that, or how to finish the deal or something. 'Cause, most people just get the
Let
deal and
me.
don't
I
go to
think
good.
I did see that. I'm trying to think. I might have had that confused with something else.
No, the speed dating was in September. It was we had a nice
Yeah,
amount of people.
I heard about that. I heard that was nice.
Yeah, because people like you should do this again. I was like, I don't want to do it all the time, and then it don't be the same turnout.
Yeah, because it'll kind of get watered down.
Right? Maybe we do like a Valentine's Day one.
Yeah, or do it like just do it like twice a year or something like that.
Yeah,
Just enough for people spread out enough for people to look forward to it, but at the same time, you don't do something like every month where they be like, oh, if I miss it, I'll go to the next
right.
one.
That makes sense. All right, we live now. So what up, though, everybody? Happy Thursday. We had to do it a day early because, as we were talking, the Real Estate Friday event is tomorrow, so I had to do a day early. So that's the only announcement I got for this year. You got some announcements? Y'all got any events?
No events anytime. So I just actually did a probate class earlier where I was one of the teachers with an attorney and a title company. That was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, nothing new coming up. I'm just ending the year out strong and just helping my people get what they need.
Sound like a plan to me. I
Uh,
don't think I got none other than this though, cause like the year always be over for me October 1st, and I start focusing on next year.
yeah, yep. Actually, yep. Around September, October, I start really planning for the next year coming up. So
Mm-hmm. Let me put the link to sign up here for the event. So, how was the auction for you? Did you buy anything or get anything for any clients?
no, some of my clients brought and was crazy. Like when we did your live last time,
Yeah,
the What Up Though
August, I think.
Friday. Man, I was already getting calls, but people was calling me left and right. I want to bid. How do I bid? Then people was calling me to evaluate their properties for them
Uh huh.
before they bid, and I'm like, I can't do all of them for free. People was calling me with like 20 properties at a time. Like, I want you to do a market report on each. I'm like, I
For
can't do that.
free? For free?
Yeah, yeah, for free.
Oh no, bruh.
Yeah, then
Nah.
it got overwhelming. I mean, I got clients, I got my regular investor clients that buy and sell properties outside of the auction. So and then some of them they kind of know they're just asking me for like a roundabout figure to see if they're in the ballpark, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was so many people called, and everybody wanted advice, which I don't mind giving. But most of the advice is already on the site
You
that
know,
they was
people want to
asking for.
read.
They just didn't want to read. So I'm like, don't call me for something you can read, and I can see if you read it and you didn't understand it, and you need clarification. But a lot of people just don't read. So I just started emailing people back the link to the site. But yeah, quite a few of my investors brought some properties.
Well, that's good.
Yep.
I had a
I've
couple
been,
people on Instagram reach out to me and said they thanked us for the show, and then they
yeah.
thanked me for talking about the Greenway, so they started buying along. The
Hmm.
Greenway line, I was like, the information right there, all y'all got to do is take the time to do it. So this one guy said he got two lots right on the Greenway on the, I forgot where, somewhere off Warren, somewhere on the west side. I think he said
Okay.
13 or 1400 for both lots.
Oh, that's not bad.
I was like, that's good as hell. I was like, just keep buying.
I There was I had one investor call me from out of state. He brought a vacant lot in Highland Park, but it was a regular residential lot. I don't know what he was thinking, but in his mind, he could sell this lot for $20,000. And I'm like, Now, if that lot was worth $20,000, it wouldn't have made it to the auction, right? And you wouldn't have got it for 500. It's not like we're not dealing with fool's gold, people, you know. So it's like,
Yeah, them days
um,
over with.
yeah, and it's I'm trying to understand because I had to put myself in their shoes. Like, what is it they think we don't know here, right? And
Hmm.
I can't say they think we stupid and broke, but it's like if a lot is worth 20,000 and you can get it at the auction for a couple $100, it's something missing there because we would have brought those lots
Facts.
already. Yeah.
Or they just, or it's like how he bought on the Greenway, ain't nobody paying attention. But did you know you could? It's another auction in December.
Yep. I was gonna bring that up too. They got a special auction coming up.
Is this the first time? Because I've never.
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever seen this, and it's on their website. And they got I had actually just posted that too because I was trying to get more of my people to come watch us. But it's hold on, let me pull up the auction dates here.
Yeah, I just put the link in the comments.
Yep. So yeah, it's in December. You got to register in November, but it's kind of like the leftover parcels that didn't sell in September and October.
Hmm.
And I have so the you have to register by November 16th, and deposits are open from the 16th through December 5th. Well, actually, you start registering between the 16th and the 5th, and the bidding starts on November 30th. And they start closing out the batches December 14th. And I think this is just a push to get all the parcels off their books, pretty much.
Now, can you still buy stuff from the previous auctions that didn't sell? I remember you used to be able to do that. I don't know if you still can.
Yeah, that's why I believe that's why they're adding this special because I think before they was holding those properties over to the following year.
Hmm.
Um, but now, since they're doing this, I think this is just something they're new. They're probably going to keep continuing with just to unload all of their all of their properties.
I'm clicking on the site. I'm trying to see where the list at. Oh, it ain't that many. It's only
No,
36 in Detroit.
yeah, they got rid of quite a bit.
That's good.
You know,
I don't know if it's ever been that low.
you know. And then there's a list. They actually got a list of all the properties. They posted everything that sold in the September auction. They haven't posted, or at least I don't see it on their site, everything that sold October for 2023. So if you're an investor, let's say you missed out on a property, you can go on here and it'll show you who bought it, what they paid for it, and their address that they registered with when they registered and brought it in the auction. So
Yeah,
if
I'm
you
on here
missed out
looking.
on some,
There's really nothing left though. Like nothing.
yeah.
Wait, it's a Longview property on here. I'm trying to see if that's whatchamacallit.
Oh,
I actually went by there the other day and I sent their pictures and stuff. I don't think it's gonna be in this one, but I think it's gonna be in the next one because they did.
probably in the next one.
Yeah, they had the notice on there and I sent their pictures.
Yeah,
Oh no, this ain't that one. I just
yes.
put it up on Google.
Probably just gotta either let that one go or just let somebody just buy it for a couple thousand that want to assume all responsibility.
Well, I had a buyer, what was it last year, and she didn't want to do it because she would have had the, I think she would either I don't think she would have walked away with anything, and I think that was the issue.
Yeah. Sometimes though, it's better to walk away with nothing because it's still liability.
Facts.
Yep. And then um, if you go to buy anything else, or once your name get in the system for having blighted properties, they start targeting some of everything you got. So you just don't want to be the person that just got vacant, abandoned, blighted properties sitting around.
Right. That's a
Yep.
good point. I got a couple, one on Benito between Mac and Canfield. That's not a bad buy, actually. That's like right outside of Island View.
Oh yeah.
Now, what it looked like, because I don't know how old this Google image is. Oh, this from last year. Yeah, I don't know about that.
The
But
one thing I like too about seeing the properties that sold in September, you start looking up certain names, and you start seeing like people that brought like this one property on Myers. Somebody brought three houses all next to each other,
mm-hmm.
um, and you can start seeing like, okay, were these independent individuals or were these corporations? Then you can start following the trends. Like if one company buying up a bunch of properties in the area, you can start paying attention to that a little bit more to see what's happening.
Right. That makes sense. I saw a video today where they was talking about how they really know houses for real because either people just not selling and what's on the market not selling, which I don't understand because there's plenty of houses on the market up here. I think, at least from what I see, like on Zillow, you a broker, so you gonna see stuff different than we see on the back end. But they was
Right.
just saying the stuff that is being sold, the big corporations like Blackstone and all them buying it up and renting it back to people to the point where hell, if something don't change, America's gonna end up being damn near 80% rentals.
Yeah. So that's why you got so many cities giving landlords a hard time because ideally, ideally it's better that it's owner occupants, it's homeowners, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you got when you got bad tenants and you got slumlords, that's just not good for the city. But when you got good companies or good landlords that are taking care of the properties and you got tenants that are respectful to the properties, it doesn't bring down the neighborhoods as bad. But yeah, in some states, like I know it was Arizona, Nevada, a lot of them states, when we came out of the crash, a lot of companies brought them properties. We was doing like bulk sales for like Fannie Mae and different banks. Bulk sale, and these companies was buying 100 or 200 at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to think if you brought a house for say I don't know $80,000, you know, 15 years ago, and you've been renting it out for 1,200 a month for the past 15 years. Now that same $80,000 house is worth 250 or better. Is not a loss whatsoever in that. You know what I'm saying? Plus,
Fact.
you could have refinanced that house and got your cash back out of it, and went and brought more property. So that's the real way to play the game. But yeah, it's they've been doing it. They've been buying up properties in bulk since like 2008. It's
Mm-hmm.
just like when the stock market, when we was when we was in the lockdown, everything kind of like went down and dipped down.
Mm-hmm.
People started buying up. That's what caused the market to go back up so quick. Because it was like, you mean I can buy Boeing for $80 or $90 a share when it was just close to $300? So people actually wait around for opportunities like that. And when it does come out, they go out and buy up everything. But even now, these companies are buying them at close to retail value and renting them out. But they're buying more. They're buying more of the 200,000 plus homes that are low maintenance. Maybe some of the newer homes that was built in the past 10 or 15 years or something like that as well.
Oh wow. Yeah, because then did you see about the I don't know. I don't think it was certain neighborhoods. Maybe it was everywhere to the small time landlord in the city. The
Hmm.
uh Detroit duplex repair program. I applied for it, so we gonna see. They said
Yeah.
it's 2.3 million. I'm like, that's gonna be gone very quick, fast.
Right. Right.
But I
Yeah.
sure applied as soon as I it got announced. So
Yeah. And the city of Detroit is having an affordable housing issue. Because what's happening is all the landlords. So the way our property taxes work um, right now is really not in favor of a tenant, right? So
mhm,
um, if you bought a property and you own that property, you're as an investor, you're taxed. You don't get any homestead exemptions, right?
mhm,
But in addition to that, the benefit of holding that property is your taxes can only go up by 5%. It's like a 5% cap or inflation, which whatever the inflation rate is, or whichever is lower. So if an investor just brought a property, let's say you owned your property, Asia, for 15 to 20 years, right? And
Mm-hmm.
we see this all the time. Somebody was paying taxes on a property and the tax is 1,200 a year. And you like, how is that possible, right? Well, because when they brought the house, it was assessed at one value, which was probably low back then. And every year, even though property values went up, they can only increase the taxes by 5%, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now the new owner come and buy it, and they buy it in the middle of a tax season. They're expecting their taxes to be 1,200 a year. But then that cap comes off, that 5% cap comes off, and it's reassessed. Now those taxes are 3,000 a year. What? And they're an investor, so they're not getting a homestead exemption. They got to raise rent to break even or make profit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all the most recent investors who have purchased properties in the past 3 to 5 years, they're gonna have to charge a lot higher than people that's owned their properties for the past 10 or 15 years or more. So affordable housing, as property values go up, more investors are buying, they're paying more for the properties, and simply put, they got to charge more for rent. So the reason it's an issue is because in our area we have a lot of long-term renters that have been renting the same house 7 years, 10 years, 15 years. They're used to the 750, 850 a month rent for a 3 bedroom brick bungalow on the west side.
Not no more.
When they get out here, and the only person that can afford to do that is a landlord that has owned their property for 10, 15 years, where that 5% cap hasn't come off, and their tax base is a lot lower. Their property taxes are lower. Once that property change ownership and that cap comes off, those taxes can almost double, which means they have to go up on rent in order to make a profit.
Yeah.
So
But you're right as far as the affordable housing. I've been saying that probably since like 2019. I started noticing it, but I
yeah,
don't think people really noticed it for real until maybe this year because COVID stuff was stabilized and stuff like that. And it's gonna get worse. And I'm like, y'all complaining about 12, 1,500 my rent. Y'all might want to get y'all credit together or get into
yeah,
these programs where you can get that $25,000 down payment assistance and get you a house because your mortgage ain't gonna be 1,500. Well, depending on the price of the house, but
right,
like, and another thing I don't understand about us is why we don't do like how like my family used to do back in the day. Like we had two family flats. So like my great granny lived on the first level, and then my great aunt and great uncle lived upstairs. Oh, and my auntie lived downstairs. And then as they passed on, then my auntie lived downstairs, and everybody done lived upstairs once upon a time. Because I remember when they was building our house, that's when I think I was taking accounting at King, and I started really understanding money. And I was like,
right.
our lease almost up. Why don't we just go stay on Westminster until the house is getting built? She like, that's a good idea, and that's exactly what we did. And stayed up there like 9 months. And my mama saved the money, helped my auntie out, and it worked out until our house finished getting built, and we moved there. And I was like, why don't we do that now? We got all these damn, especially a four family, like. Big
Right.
Mama and them could be in one, y'all be in one, the grandkids in another one, and the great grands in another one. Y'all all in
Yeah.
one house, and everybody get on the mortgage or whatever y'all got to do, or whoever got the better credit get on it, and everybody just help pay it.
It's people that do that, but in our culture is not as common. I think, to be honest, I think some of us just got too much ego and pride,
Mm.
and we start getting a hold of too much disposable income, or at least we think we got disposable income, right?
Right.
And it's just we just different than the generations before us, where they were it's almost like they had to do that, right? we
Mm-hmm.
don't we don't have to do that, but it's, even though it's a smarter choice to do it that way. But yeah, that makes sense.
I told my pops, I'm like, if it ever get hard times, I'm coming right down there on them 10 acres and living and dropping me a double wide right next to yours.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
not ashamed.
But that's the thing, though. How many people would do that? You know what I'm saying? Because their
Yeah.
ego won't let them move back. You know how it is. So you live with your mama, and it's like, yeah, but I'm saving bread. I'm actually paying my mama bills.
That's what happened. So when I lost my highway job, I think I was laid off a year and a half. I went back and I ended up losing my condo. And I remember I was crying. I was depressed. And my mom just called. She's like, "Baby, don't worry about nothing. Just come home." Do you know how much like a relief that was? And I went home.
Yeah,
The best thing that ever happened to me was losing that condo. I swear, because I was broke. My back was against the wall, and I was like, if I'm ever this broke again, it's gonna be because I did it. That was the best shit that ever happened to me. And now, like, my business started thriving. That first year, not working a job, I think I made like 150 that year, just wholesaling.
right.
And I was like,
Yep,
all right, so by turn this up, then I started getting more contracts and stuff like that. And it got to the point where I was like, all right, ma. So how I started paying the bills at the house was, older people, you can't just have the water running.
right,
So I had the water running, then the water bill came. This bill high as hell. So I was like, I pay it. So now
right,
it's into the summer. So the water bill higher because she watering the grass and stuff. So then I'm turning the AC on. Senior, especially from down south, they not turning the air on.
right.
And I was like, Ma, I'll pay the bill. So that's how I started paying the bills because I'm not about to be
Yep,
hot. I'm not about to be taking no short shower because you tripping. So
yep,
I just started paying all the bills and she had to work. So it all worked out. That was my way to pay back. But I ain't had I was not ashamed to go back home. That was the best thing that ever happened. I don't know why people be acting like that. Like, at least you got somewhere to go. At least you got
right.
help. Some people ain't got nothing.
Yeah, I think you should. I think you should stay at home until you can build a foundation. But you
Hmm.
got to go out and experience the world. But in your early 20s, if you can go back home, you have something to fall back on. That'll set you up for success. But you still got to go out and try some things on your own, though. But I
Oh,
think our ego just won't let us do that example you mentioned with the two family or the four family.
I mean, you still have privacy, I guess. You up there.
Yeah, you would, and you will have babysitters.
True.
Yep,
Babysitters, trust, ain't gotta worry about no mess. So and then you do need that generation to like that help the elders kind of stay young, so to speak, because they helping with the kids, and then
yep.
that help kind of mold the kids too. So it kind of works out. But
Here's the biggest thing though about everybody staying in one house. Can't nobody say they ain't no big mom was behind on her taxes because the notice coming to the same house.
facts, and if all y'all chip in, y'all should be straight.
Yep,
That's a good point. And y'all gonna eat good because Big Mama gonna cook every day because she at home.
yep,
For real. That's why I was a fat kid. After school, I went to my godmama house. She was a stay at home mom. So it's 3 o'clock. I'm coming home from 11. I'm eating neck bones and collard greens. I swear to God.
right.
And I'm a kid. Then after that, I go to my auntie house. Now I'm eating pot roast and mashed potatoes. And then by the time my mama pick me up and we go home and eat, she cooking the same stuff. So I'm eating very good throughout the day. Like I'm one of the only probably black kids who brought, steak and mashed potatoes for lunch.
The leftovers be slapping.
Leftovers be busting. I wasn't no lunch,
Yeah,
wasn't no sandwiches for me. We was eating food.
yep. So
Honey.
you had did you get anybody hire you to fix any of their investment properties or anything?
I actually turned down a lot of
From the
work here because I was in that firehouse from hell that I passed
yeah.
my inspection last week. So now we doing the punch list. So I
Okay.
turned down a lot of work just to focus on that. To be honest.
Okay. So none of your people brought it to tax sale that was like, hey, I got this. Come.
This one lady hit me up from I don't know where she was. She hit me up actually on TikTok. She bought a house on the east side. It was okay, but it had a tree that fell on the garage, and then it was another tree that was about to fall on the house. It was so many trees in that backyard,
Oh
and so
yeah.
I told her I was like, "You looking at 60 grand just outside, and I ain't even went inside yet." Them trees alone was probably 20 grand. It was that many trees, and it was
Yeah.
one of those big trees that split into like 6, 7 other trees.
Yeah.
And I was like, we
I'm
got to cut that, haul that away, tear the finish tearing the garage down. I was like, you looking at 60 grand outside.
I did have one investor though that was smart. He called and he wanted somebody to actually ride by the properties and kind of like, take photos and see if it was even worth even consider bidding on. And I
Mm-hmm.
hooked him up with one of my field guys, and he paid him like $15 per house just to go by and take a photo of them.
That
And
was
he had like 60 houses he was trying to bid on, but it was like it saved him a lot of money and time because I think he said he only ended up bidding on about 8 properties,
yeah.
but he had like one area. The good thing is they was all kind of like in that same zip code, and he was just like going through the list, and he was like, okay, he just had minimum requirements. Like, was it fire damage? Like you said, any trees? Was it caved in? Was it structurally sound from the outside? Then if it didn't meet that requirement, then he started writing down other stuff that started eliminating some of the properties and getting them down.
Yeah, that was smart. I tell people all the time, like, pay whatever the person wants for some photos and make a decision, or come out here and do it yourself. Because your flight and hotel is still gonna be cheaper than what you gonna lose if you buy
Yeah,
some. Yes.
yeah, yeah. But if most of these people, if the house is structurally sound, you should be able to put it right back on the market and be able to sell it
Mm-hmm.
once you clear title. Because the thing about the auction, even though a lot of people know about it, it's still not the general market. So, like, if you bought a property and it's just fair. It don't have to be like average condition, moving and ready. If you bought a decent property that's can be fixed, let's say you pay 8,000 for it, you can put it back on the market for like 13 or 14,000 and make a couple thousand off of it, right? If
Mm-hmm.
you feel like, okay, this is way more money than what I expected, because we do it all the time. That was one of my investment strategies years ago. When the auction had a little bit better quality properties for cheaper, you
Mm-hmm.
spend 5 or 6 thousand on something, put it back out there for 12,000, because now you're getting that marketing exposure. Whereas with the tax auction, they're not marketing these properties, right? They're out there, but there's no effort to secure buyers. They just expect people to know about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you buy a property, maybe you bought 5 of them, and you only really can afford to fix 1 or 2 of them. You take the other ones and just list them on the market with an agent like myself, right? And then you put them out there for several thousand more than what you paid for it, and just make your money and just keep it rolling into your other properties.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Did you? So you didn't bid at all for you or for your clients?
Yeah, I didn't bid on anything this year. I've been buying, so to be honest, I've been buying mostly probate properties, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because as a broker, I'm marketing to for probate listings, right? Most actually most like I'm buying a deal. I'm in the middle of a flip now in Westland, right?
Mm-hmm.
That came from an agent in the office had a property listed and was just saying, hey, this property's not selling. And I looked up some information. I said, well, what's the least amount they'll take for it? What's the lowest amount? She gave a number. I gave a number that was probably about 10,000 less than that. And I just sat and waited. And then a couple of days later, a few weeks later went by. We kept asking, will they consider our offer now? I'm not going nowhere. I'm still going to buy it at my price. And that's how I find 90% of my deals. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
through regular retail marketing, looking for sellers. If I don't buy them, or we just list them and make a commission off of it.
Sound good to me.
Yeah. So I just didn't have the time this year to really, because the last couple of times I bid it in the auction, I really put in the work. Like I scrolled through the list, narrowed it down per zip code, picked out the certain areas and neighborhoods I wanted. And like me and my wife, every couple of days, we would just spend like 4 hours riding past properties. and then we narrow it down. We did all that to only buy one property 1 year. And I was like, damn, that was a lot of time, but it was worth it, you know. But a lot of people just don't want to put in that work. And now I would just probably just hire somebody to do part of that leg work.
Yeah, but it do feel good when you do it yourself. It kind of take you back to the beginning.
Yeah, yeah.
You
And it's something to do. We grab our Chick-fil-A while we out.
There you
You
go.
know,
Make it a
get some
little
ride.
date.
Yeah, make it a money making date. That's what we call it. Riding around and get it.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. I
Yep.
be looking on Zillow lately. Like I got my little search or whatever. Like today, one came through. This was 15,000 on some. It was a couple on Somerset actually, but it wasn't no interior photos. But I really don't care as long as that foundation straight.
Yeah.
It was
Yep.
all. Oh no, it wasn't material. I'm looking at not. It was. It's a full good. This boy messed up, but I don't care. But if they asking for 15, I was gonna offer 7,500.
Oh yeah. See, my wife went there now talking about that was fun.
Oh
Itself
yeah,
1999. That was fun. Yeah, for you.
oh,
No, it was fun.
so
Yeah.
she was being a passenger princess.
Yeah, no, she would be looking and paying attention. Like, when people around you and you do this for a living, they start knowing what to look for.
Well, that's good.
Yep.
Somebody said they like my course. Oh, thank you. So the old webinars like I did like investing in Detroit. I just put them up for sale because I was like, it's great. It's like 6-7 hours of information. So I
Oh,
know
that's
I
cool.
sold probably like 10 so far.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm gonna start running ads on them boys.
Yeah, you might as well.
The link. Oh yeah, I put the link for the program. It's further up. They might have closed it by now because I don't know if they announced it on the news yet. Do you know the dates of events for you're hosting next year? I live out west, would like to attend. Yeah, so Detroit Real Estate Weekend I already made the dates. It's the first weekend of August, but like I probably won't have tickets for sale to probably the first January. So FYI, Reggie,
Yep.
because I'm gonna need you there. Hold on, let me go to my calendar. Yeah, it's August 1st through the 4th. So the first, I'm just gonna keep it the first weekend of August because the weather's still gonna be good. It ain't gonna be too cold yet, cause y'all West Coast people act like a little breeze just gonna devastate y'all.
Right.
Somebody said, do you use REI Pro or batch leads?
I use batch leads, and I was using prop stream, but for what I'm doing, batch leads is enough for what. And then we got different stuff like Remind and all of that as a realtor. So that gives me a lot of data too.
Mm.
We got a lot of resources as a realtor that we don't a lot of realtors don't use it in the way that a wholesaler or investor would use it. I just so happen to know better. So that's how I get my probate leads, my pre foreclosures, and everything. So it's a combination of everything. But yeah, I like batch leads.
Could you explain what those are for people who might not know that's on here?
So batch leads is a platform where you can pull data, like you can put in there like pre foreclosures. It allow you to do mailers through batch leads, different marketing, and you can skip trace. That's what I mainly use it for, is to skip tracing. So like if I see a property address and I can't find a number like in Mojo Dollar or something like that, I'll just run it through batch leads and do the skip tracing. There's other platforms that allow you to skip trace, but right now for me, when I compared it, batch leads has some of the most accurate data.
Oh, learn something every day.
You know.
For my announcement, I forgot I speak in Philly next month because he changed the date, so it threw me off. But it's like a conclave. So I'm speaking on investing in Detroit. So that's the weekend. I think it's the 9th, December 9th. So I'll let you know how that goes. I'm like, this is like my third or fourth time speaking in Philly though.
Yeah, I seen a couple things where you was on a panel or something like that.
Yeah, but I don't like Philly though. I go do my business and come the fuck home.
What's
Like
wrong with Philly?
I don't know, cause I remember one time when I couldn't get no sleep. Like we had stayed in the Airbnb in Center City. They were just outside doing the most. I'm like, bro, I'm ready to go home.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It was cool, but I just couldn't see myself living there. You know, they ain't got no yard. You know, that be
right.
irritating me. Like, where y'all grass at?
Yeah. Each city got its own little vibe and culture you just have to adapt to.
Yeah, like the people there cool that I know that I done hung out with and stuff, but like as far as going, I go there and do my business and come home. I'm like that with New York. I don't like New York. It's just too
Yeah.
much. I
Oh,
like Detroit because you can like go be in the mix and leave.
right. And not leave the city. Like you can be in a mix and leave the mix and still be in the city, but not be in a mix.
Right.
Right.
And if you bored in Detroit, it's by choice. It's always something to do here. And a lot of our stuff be free.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know. I just be like, bro, I'm ready to go. I just love Detroit. I be like, Detroit me, please. Our
Yeah.
food be on point. We can eat 24/7. Well, before the casino strike, but whenever that's over, you can eat 24/7.
I mean, you can eat 24/7 if you go to Coney Island.
True, but
And
you know, I'm a woman and I be trying to be safe, so I go to
yeah,
the casino.
yeah, that's
I go
true.
to Caesars. I got my passport.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just like being home. Let me see what questions we got. Asia, did you ever buy from the tax? No, I've never bought from the tax auction ever. What I have done is got the deed from a person who was about to go in foreclosure for the tax auction. I've done that a lot, and then I just go take over the payments and get on the payment plan. But I've never bought from the tax auction. But I am gonna look through this list from the previous years for some lots and stuff because I'm only buying land from the tax auction. I only want lots.
Yep. And sometimes, really, a lot of times you get a better deal getting people that's on the foreclosure list that haven't been foreclosed on yet.
Hmm.
Because let's say your budget to buy a property is $30,000, right? They might owe 7 or 8 thousand in back taxes. You just give them the difference, and then you just make a payment plan for the back taxes. So even though you're spending the same amount of money, you're just not spending it all up front,
Right.
right? And now you help them out, you go get on a payment plan or whatever, or you might get it for less from them. But once it go to auction, you can't control that price.
Hmm.
Your budget might be 30,000, and somebody the bids go in, they might bid that same house up to 45 or 50. So now you just don't, you don't have any control over the outcome. So start looking at that list once they're in tax foreclosure before the county actually takes it.
I've never done it that way. They normally reach out to me either through social media or, and a lot of people who got Section 8 vouchers be reaching out to me too that want to rent from me. I'm like, I need like $5 million real quick. Just real quick. Cause I got properties. I only can renovate them so much, like at a time. That'd be the thing. And I'm like, it got to be some affordable housing grants out here. So I hired a VA just to go find that.
Yeah,
Because I know it's money out here. It got to be. I'm a woman. I'm black. I'm in this male field. You telling me ain't no money out here for me? It's grants out here for people who left-handed.
yep.
So I need y'all to give me some bread. uh, but it's another. So also with the auction, like you said, like I never thought about doing it the list way. Mine was always either like I said, word of mouth or through my website. But that's not actually a bad idea because it
You
don't.
can.
When do it get to the point where you can't get it out the auction?
So here's what you do: you get your VA to pull the list, right? Because the county lists all the properties that they're getting ready to foreclose on. So
Mhm.
you get your VA to go through the list and you say, hey, I just want you to work on this zip code. And the issue is you don't know at that time if they're like vacant lots, if the property's still standing or whatever. But you might just have to do a direct mail campaign, how your VA sends something out, see how much mail comes back, or scrub batch leads, see if you can find some numbers, and then have the VA go through because you can import the data into batch leads and it'll generate the numbers for you, and have your VA start calling, hey, are you considering selling your home or whatever. So it's a lot of different ways you can approach it.
What's the most you ever offer somebody like that? I've never paid over $750, but this was also before 2018.
Most I paid $20,000. because you got to think like the homes I'm looking at, the people are living there, they're in decent shape for whatever reason. Like I had a house listed for sale. We was selling this house. We was under contract for 145. The house next door had a tax foreclosure notice that popped up a day before we was having our appraisal done. So
Mm-hmm.
I just went over there and knocked on the door because we didn't have a sign in front of our house, so nobody knew it was for sale except realtors or people that was looking and seeing it on the market. So I knocked on the door, and the lady eventually called me back because I kept leaving cards and stuff. And I
Mm-hmm.
said, "How much are you behind on taxes?" She said $6,000. And she was like, I was just gonna let the house go because I'm moving out of state. And I'm like, I'm selling the house next door for 145. We under contract. And we had 6 offers on the house. So we talked and said, her house needed some work. It probably needed about $30,000 worth of work.
Mm-hmm.
So when you find deals like that, um, as a realtor, I'm either gonna list that house. She could have sold that house for 110 as is and got it all day, right? Because it was all cosmetic work. The roof was decent. It was older, but it wasn't leaking. The shingles wasn't curling or nothing like that. But also, it was an investment opportunity. Um, what I offered her, she didn't want to take because now she knew she can get 110 as is.
Right.
But it was still my way of helping and still making money because I still made a commission on it. And then I looked good because I sold 2 houses next door on the same block. And now I'm marketing to everybody else in the neighborhood. Like, look, I sold this house. And I just keep repeating that cycle.
Yeah,
And eventually,
that one helped your cops because it just sold.
exactly. So eventually, everybody's saying, okay, I'm going to call him to sell my house. But every now and then one of them people be like, hey, I don't have the money to fix it up. I don't want to put it on the market. Do you have any investors? And I'm like, yeah, I invest, right?
Me?
Yeah. So that's how I find majority of my properties. So we do scrub some of the I scrub the tax auction list, but mainly we've been going after the pre-foreclosure list where people are being foreclosed on for their mortgages. So
Mm-hmm.
with those, I get a little bit more data um, because on some of these sites that I go to, it'll tell me when their mortgage originated, and then I can see like some other details, and then it'll give me an idea about. I can kind of guesstimate what they owe on the property, right? Um, and it's just useful for me to use all the tools because I'm approaching it for 2 different reasons, either to list it as a real estate broker or for investment properties. But going back to your question, the most I paid for that tax situation was $20,000
So that
because
was
the house was
next
worth it.
door. That was the one next door to you, right?
No,
Oh, this was a
no,
different one.
yeah, but it was a
Ended up
similar
selling it?
scenario, right?
Did she
Where
end up selling it or did she lose it?
yeah, no, she ended up selling it. She sold it for 110.
Oh, she actually did.
Yeah, cause she.
I don't
But
know
see,
why people never think that they can sell their house because they behind on taxes.
here's the thing, right? You got to think when our property values increase so much over the past 10 or 15 years. If you're a homeowner and you had no plans on selling, the average homeowner is not even paying attention to the market until somebody brings it to their attention. So
Mm.
she's still stuck on, oh, these houses only selling for 30 or 40,000, right? In her mind, that's what it was. And she like, I owe taxes and it need work. I'm not gonna get it's not worth it because I'm not gonna put 30,000 into it to sell it for 40,000 and I owe 6,000 in taxes. That was her mindset. She had no idea the house next door was selling for
You
145.
talk too much.
I mean, I still made money. I still made $6,000 off of it. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah,
but at the same time, I'm still helping people by doing that, right?
true. Did
Yeah.
you mad at yourself? Like, damn, I talk too much.
No, because I get my share of deals and I only can buy so many at a time. But then there's still the opportunity to possibly wholesale it and all that type of stuff as well. But the money's still moving, right? You
Right.
go out, you help people, whatever option they take, either I list it for them or I buy it. I'm still making money and just keep it moving.
Yeah, that was nice. I mean, you get your blessings how you get them. So, and then now she still moved out of state, but now she moved out of state with some money.
Yeah, and she tell people, oh yeah, go to him. He helped me out, and that type of thing.
Yeah, so it worked out. Charles said, I tried to plan a trip to Detroit after Thanksgiving, but the MGM was closed due to the strike. If you got your passport, stay at Caesar Palace if you're trying to use your MGM points, because that's MGM still. That's what I've been telling clients. You just got to come over the border every day.
Yep. Not wrong with staying in Canada.
Nope.
Just have all your stuff tight.
And had USD cash because that cat, our money go further over there. So you could ball out over there with American dollars.
Yeah.
You can ball out. Cause you know what messed me up when I drove over there this summer? The gas prices, like, cause they stuff is in Canadian dollars, and I was like $17 for gas. Excuse me,
Yeah.
that's the Canadian number. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna fill up. I got enough to get back home. I'm
Yep.
cool. Asia, can a person who left Detroit benefit from your course if they want to invest without making too many trips? Absolutely. So the it's a course, but it's not. It's really like webinars or whatever, and like older events we've done. I actually gonna do a newer one, probably the first quarter of the year, and just combine it. But it's basically us talking in depth about where to invest in Detroit. And the areas that I tell you to invest in the course is still very valid today. Like I know Island View on there, North End, Dexter Linwood, Davidson. Nothing's on there about the Joe Louis Greenway yet. I'm working on something now, and I'm gonna do one just on the Greenway once I get like all my stuff together. Cause that's where I'm focusing on my stuff. Like I'm gonna keep Balfour, still ain't sold. So the last offer I got was 192, which I accepted. But then they was
Oh, that
moving,
was a good offer.
very good offer. I accepted it, but they were moving here from Jersey, and they was like, "We want you to also take a 15,000 concession, which means deduction for appliances, so we can buy appliances." And I was like, "Y'all have me fucked up," and
Yeah.
I left it at that. Cause I'm not taking no L like that. 192, I would have took all day, but I was like,
Right.
I rent it out before I do that, or put it on Furnish Finder, or wait till the spring and try again. But I'm not taking no $50,000 pay cut. Absolutely not.
Yeah, because that puts you down, but to 175 or something like that after you take off the concession.
Well, yeah, but that ain't even including what the realtor got to get,
Right.
the taxes.
Yeah.
I probably walk away at 150, and there's no way. I would take a 50,000 cut because with all the maintenance and paying the DT and dolls every month, I'm at probably 195, 200 right now. And I just bought appliances because Home Depot got a hell of a Black Friday sale right now. So I got a whole kitchen suite Whirlpool for 1834.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put that over there, and I was like, I'm probably just gonna rent it or do a land contract.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Yep. Let me see. But to answer your question, absolutely. I always hear about left-handed grants. Yep, I've always heard about them too.
They
I
used to have to go to what's the guy named Mr. Brown that used to be over off of 8 Mile?
yeah,
You know what I'm talking about? He used to get everybody grants and scholarships.
yeah, but like I don't know nobody who's like that now.
Nah, it ain't. I think he was like the last of his kind because everybody, and he used to be like, "Don't send him to me in the 12th grade. Send him to me in the 10th grade, so we can start working on it." Now he used to find all type of like scholarships, grants for college, and all that type of. Well, that was for college, so
But see, the thing is, he probably did it. Of course, he got paid, but he did it because he wanted to help people. Now
yeah,
you got people who know that stuff and they like gatekeep it.
yeah.
Like I pay you for the information. Like I don't understand. I was. What'd you say?
No, she said, Mr. Brown's still there. So I ain't the only one that know who he is.
I was watching the Shay Show where they talked about people bidding on homes out of state without looking at them. Yeah, people buy stuff like the lady who bought the house with all the trees. She had bought it sight unseen.
Yup.
I don't advise that if you're not no seasoned investor. I don't, but I've bought houses sight unseen, but I take that back. Partially sight unseen. I like walked the outside, but I didn't couldn't get inside. But
So
I
when you Yeah,
good.
when you buy sight unseen, you already got it. Like you said, if you season, you kind of know the cost of everything, so you're using like the worst case scenario. So when I see the outside of the house, I'm like, okay, but what if the basement flooded or the foundation walls cracked? What would that cost me?
Mm,
Right? I have a general idea. What if I have to gut the entire house, do all the HVAC? So that's going to determine how much I pay for the property. I'm bidding based on the worst case scenario. And if it's not worst case scenario, I just made, I just came up and got lucky.
right. You be like, whoo. Now I don't
Yeah,
houses to where I'm like you in my mind, the house already fucked up, all the floor joists rotted. Like I'm at the
yep.
very worst case. If I can walk the outside and kind of tell how my foundation gonna be, but if you can't really tell to your inside, but you could tell enough to know if this is a good one or not. As long as that's okay, I really don't care what the inside look like.
Let me ask you this, right? So you ever walking up to a house and you can smell the moisture and
Hell,
you like this basement flooded?
flooded as hell, especially in the summertime. You could really,
Yeah,
because in the summer it's a very musty stench
yep.
to the
So
point
as
like
soon as
somebody nasty over here.
Yep. So that's from experience. Like you can walk up to a house, by the time you get to that front door, you can say, okay, this either the basement flooded or it's flooded often or some type of roof leak that hasn't
Yeah,
been
have you walked
fixed.
up to the house and you hit that side door, you just hear,
Yeah,
you just hear the water in the basement. Like I'm not going in there because
yep.
in my mind that house full of Scorpios, scorpions, snakes. I don't know what's in that basement. Like I'm straight.
Yeah.
Well, I done been in a lot of houses. Please no Coney. Coney, I had a salad from Coney the other day. They just so you know that church's chicken on Jefferson by Belle Isle?
Yeah.
We just turned that to a Nicky D, so that boy be banging.
Oh yeah. That's great.
I was happy. I was like, "Bang, go give me a salad." Why is it that when I want to buy the lots by my home, I get the runaround? How do I go about getting the lots off the land bank? Look, Miss Jackie Foot, we on the same page. I got lots by my stuff, and it's the same stuff.
So here's the thing, right? Is it first you gotta identify if it's Detroit Land Bank or the county has one and the state has one. So you got to identify the correct land bank, but you going to get everybody else is easier to deal with. Everybody's easier to deal with compared to Detroit, but Detroit just has their process and you just have to follow it and wait. That's what
Mm-hmm.
I tell people. Don't have your expectations that this is going to happen in a couple weeks like a regular cash sale. It's just going to take some time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they said Mr. Brown helped them with their fast for 4 years ago. So I guess he's still here.
Oh yeah, he's still around.
That's what's up.
Mr. Brown. Them HBCUs probably need to send him some money too.
Facts. But I think that's dope because you got a lot of people in Detroit who was first generation and the parents just didn't know how to feel stuff out. So shout out to them.
Yep.
All right, let me see the gram what questions we got. Y'all got any questions for me or Reggie? They said you nice, Reggie.
Oh, thank you.
About I guess with the lady what you did for her.
Oh, okay.
What up though? What up though? Let me see other questions. We ain't got no questions. Now don't y'all be DMing me a bunch of questions after the live because y'all felt the shame or something. That's how I be. I'm like, I know you was just on there. I just saw your name. Do you have people send you like somebody just sent me a list of houses? Like, what do you think? I just sent my link. I don't think shit. Hit the link.
I get that all the time. Like, I just want to see, or some people will play like they own the properties already, and they'll be like, "I'm looking to sell my houses. Can
Yeah.
you run accounts for me?" And then the first thing I do, I look at the first house and see who the owner record is. If it's not them, I'll be like, "No, dog." But some people use, they'll pay you to do an evaluation for them, and then we charge based on, do you just want us to do it online or do you want us to actually go out to the property? Because like I have people on my team now to go out and take photos of the property,
Mm-hmm.
do you a full report with comps and everything, do a side by side comparison of what your property looks like compared to the other 3 or 4 sold properties and the active, and we give you all this data that go with it to show you where the market is trending to, average days on the market. It's like a full report,
Yeah,
but that's gonna cost, you
for
know.
sure. Like you said, when the people was blowing you up from the last auction when we did, I think you too nice because I'm just gonna send that link, sending me all these goddamn questions in the text.
I
Mm-mm.
did get so people. The biggest one was because I know some brokers that because when you bid on multiple properties, you had to have a larger deposit.
Mm-hmm.
So I know some brokers that would put up the large deposit and allow people to bid, but you still had to contact them to do the bids for you. They wasn't just giving you their login. So I had people calling me, and when I reached out to the brokers, they was just like, we can't take no more people because everybody was, because they do this every year. So they already had like they was just like, they don't have the staff because they was charging to do that. Plus you had to put up money on deposit with them in case you didn't comply and follow through with your bid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but they was just like they were just overwhelmed and they just kept it to their tight little circle that they had.
I
But
mean, that makes sense because you bring the new people in and they mess it up for
yeah,
everybody else.
yeah,
All right, what are some zip codes? So we can give y'all zip codes all day, but like I've always said, and I'm sure Reggie says the same thing. Detroit is block by block, so I can say what's one that's a crazy zip code that go 4214. That's a very
yeah.
good one. Like you got Indian Village, you got Island View and West Village, which is booming right now. But then you got where my big red one is, East Village. Well, East Village kind of booming too though. Now,
It's neighborhoods. It's not zip
yeah,
codes here. Do not get caught up in that zip code. You'll be pissed off. You come and somebody sold you a house and they showed you comps for 400,000, but you're on the wrong side of the main street. And it's like I put a video on my YouTube page. Like I was literally on one block driving 10 seconds later, and I was like, these homes are worth like 60,000 more than where we just passed. Because it was like Greenview, the little west side area off of 8 Mile, the frame bungalows and ranches. But
yeah.
then when you get north, it's them big, large brick ranch style homes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like anywhere from 60 to $80,000 difference. And all you did was drive 5 seconds. Same block,
You
same
know,
zip code.
it's another area like that. I can't think of the zip. So 7 Mile in Westbrook is like that.
Yeah, yep,
But then when you cross Puritan, it's nice as hell because that's where my family live at. They like on Trinity and 8 Mile,
yep.
the Blackstone, whatever those other little streets is over there by the pie pad. Like that part nice as hell to Lasher. And then Pure. I think that's Puritan or Pembroke, one of them.
Mhm.
All right, Pembroke. But once you cross it, you be like, damn, what the hell happened?
Yeah,
But
yep.
it's the same zip code, but that shows you it's by neighborhoods and by blocks. I came in
I
late.
like I like 48221 is kind of consistent because like the Bagley area, Fitzgerald,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of that spilled over from like University District over to Bagley over to. So it's you starting to see the spillover and the improvement is spreading out a little bit wider,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just hard to pinpoint just one zip code, right? Because everything is just weird. You got an $800,000 home, and then you go 3 streets over, and you looking at $40,000 and $50,000 homes.
Well, Bagley was definitely a good one like that because, like you said, you got University District and all that over there. And then when Bagley started popping, Fitzgerald wasn't popping yet, so the comp
Right.
kind of all over the place, even though they right neighboring each other. But I didn't realize that Joe Louis Greenway was starting back then because remember they started doing the little pathways over
Yep.
there. And we didn't know what that was. I'm like, oh, this is cool, but we didn't know what it was till last year. We still got time though, because I don't think it's supposed to be done till like 2030 or something.
Right.
I was
Yep.
like, geez. I came in late, but can you tell me what to expect from your program? Oh, I'll drop the link. So basically, it's basically teaching people how to invest in Detroit. We got M on there talking about title, which is the most. I think personally that the title is the most important part of your deal because everything else can be on point. You can have the money in place. It can be the perfect house. You got the rehab number and all that. But if that title bad, then your whole deal gone. Unless it's something they can fix, and hopefully they can fix it quickly. So it's stuff like that on there. The neighborhoods to invest in, how to do your estimate, kind of like doing estimate, but not for real, but stuff to look for as far as on the rehab side. And that's all I can think of right now. Uh, Asia, can the info on your course be used to invest down south? My stuff is strictly for Detroit. I don't know nothing about no other area other than Wayne County, Metro Detroit. So Wayne, Oakland, Macomb, or Michigan in general. I am learning Alabama because my in Georgia because my family have land and properties down there. So I'm learning it, but I'm reaching out to people that I know that's killing it down there to get help. So only for here.
Where's Raymond at? Ain't he?
Yeah, he Atlanta, so I be talking to
Oh,
him.
okay.
And
Okay.
and Aisha, 'cause
I thought he had like some properties in Alabama, like some multifamilies. Was he syndicating some deals or something like that?
I don't know about Alabama, but I know he had some in Macon.
Okay. All
He
right.
might have Alabama because Alabama is literally like
Right there. Yeah.
my dad. We're in Smith Station, Alabama. We're 90 miles from Atlanta,
Right.
and then also Florida right there too. Because Panama City is 3 hours from my dad.
Yeah. To go back to the question where the person asked you about investing, down south. So the basic fundamentals of real estate investing remain the same across the board. Like
Hmm.
it's books you can read, podcasts, all type of stuff. But each city has its own little nuances and different cultures that you have to be able to navigate. But the fundamentals of investing are the same across the board.
Hmm.
So that's what you want to learn first and then apply it to your city. Like we used to get people fly in and teach these investment classes, like the weekend seminars and all of that, and then they want to charge you 25,000 to be in
Hmm.
their program. And I'm like, dude, you can buy a whole house. At least at the time, you can buy a whole house for 25,000.
You could buy more. You probably about two
Yeah,
or three if we talking at the same time. I'm thinking.
yeah. And it was like, so I was like, why is people paying? But what they were selling you, they were selling you a bunch of other stuff you probably didn't need, at least not for here. But they were selling you a system on investing, what color schemes to paint, the QR codes, um, what type of materials to use. They just had a system for flipping properties or renovating properties and finding the properties. So that remains the same across the board. But again, some of the stuff they taught just wouldn't work in Detroit. Like
Hmm.
they wasn't teaching people how to secure your properties. They was like, oh yeah, put a new furnace in, put this model in. Yep, and it's gonna be at the pawn shop, right?
Or
So
somebody else's house. Like, dang, it's warm in here.
yeah. So there's just different things that your city may nuances you got to deal with in your city. Everybody building code, everybody city inspectors are different. The requirements are different.
Hmm. Cause I thought about getting licensed in Georgia. I think I got to take their test. Cause Michigan, we the only state that don't reciprocate with nobody.
For the builder's license,
Yeah, for building, we don't
yeah,
reciprocate with nobody. I'm like, okay, but Georgia, if I get licensed there, I'll be licensed in Alabama. I think Florida, and I think the Carolinas or Tennessee. I gotta look it up again.
yeah,
But I was like, I think I'm gonna see what I got to do to get licensed down there because I do want to. Cause we got land and stuff, and eventually I would love to drop some containers on there.
yeah, that'll be nice.
Hmm. How long does the take for the deed to come? I guess when you buy from the tax auction.
From the tax auction, you should be getting your deed sometime in December. Sometimes they'll come a little sooner, just depending on how backlog, how far back they are, because it's a process. They go through all the deeds in batches, and then so sometimes people can still dispute the sale. So like somebody feel like they wasn't served properly and everything like that. You
Hmm.
may not get a deed. You may get a letter saying that the sale was canceled. So, but yeah, you should probably like 4 to 6 weeks. It may be sooner, depending on how many they have to process.
Yeah, and I'm gonna add on to that, Reg. Don't do nothing to that house until you get your deed for what Reg just said. Cause you can start work on it, and whoever contested and win gonna say, "Thank you for this new roof you just put on my beautiful home."
Don't don't approach if it got squatters in it or tenants, even if you identified they were legit tenants. Do not approach them. Do not try to start an eviction. Um,
Mhm.
don't do nothing to that property until you get that deed in your hand. Um, get an insurance quote, but don't get insurance, right? Do everything but spend money on that house. You
Don't
can acquire all you want. You know?
Yeah, don't do nothing. Asia, can I? No. If you call me saying, can I do anything to a property, the answer is no. I'm just letting you know. Don't do nothing. Don't cut no grass. Don't shovel no snow. Don't, like he said, don't get no insurance on there. Don't do nothing. Don't even pay. Oh, can you talk about what type of deed you get when they buy from the auction? Because I don't think a lot
You
of people
getting
know
a
that.
you getting a quick claim deed from the county. You still have to. So most title companies, when you go to flip that property, I want to just take that snippet from when we did the last one on just this part and keep playing it over and over again. You got to make that a short, right?
Thanks.
When you get your deed from the county, it is not a warranty deed, right? Most title companies will not insure title. So let's say you buy the house, you fix it up, you put 80,000 into it, you put it back on the market. The title company say, "Hey, we can't insure this title because it was a tax sale deed." Now, some title companies will say, "Oh, this was a tax foreclosure, and maybe you held the property for 7 years, 10 years, or whatever." And title company will feel comfortable insuring title because nobody came and made a claim. But if you just brought it and you're flipping it as soon as you finish rehabbing the property, you're either going to have to do a quiet title suit, which is a legal process where you go into court and suing everybody that had an interest in that property for quiet title, or you're going to go work with one of the title companies like Detroit Title, for example. They'll pull the FOIA, get all the information to see who all was served, make sure everybody was served properly, and then they'll determine, hey, this foreclosure doesn't appear to have any issues. We're comfortable with insuring title. Now, to do that process, it will cost you because you got to pay for the FOIA. You got to pay for it's a tax title service is normally what they call it.
And what
So,
does FOIA stand for those that don't know?
Freedom of Information Act.
Thank
So, now you can go get the FOIA yourself, or you can have the title company do it. I recommend going to get it yourself and sending it to the title company because, like, if I call a title company tomorrow, they're going down there all the time to pull FOIAs, but they may not go. They probably only go once a week, and they probably already went once this week. So they may not get it until next Thursday, right? Or order it until next Thursday. If you get it yourself, you'll probably get it faster, which will speed up the process. So, um, clear your title, take your deed to the water department, make sure they zero out your water bill because whatever past due water bill is still going to be on there in most cases, right? Even though our past due bills get rolled over to the taxes in most cities, you still want to make sure you take that deed to the water department so they can start you with a brand new account number and zero out your account.
All right, so you remember last time we were talking about the water, and I told you the one on Parker was like 6-7 grand. I did call them. They actually
Mhm.
came out this time and went in the house. So I
Yep.
just got a new bill for let me pull it up. It was nowhere near that. So I'm like,
Do you got a meter? You had a meter in there, or they installed a meter for you when they
it ain't
came
nothing
out?
in there because you know it's gutted to the studs.
Okay,
So the new bill is 1358.73.
so it went from $6,000 to 1,300.
Yep. And now I gotta call back the call to get everything disconnected because I'm just gonna tear it down and keep my lot.
Right.
But what I
So
I'm
So they
assuming
went from
zero it out though.
6,000 to 1,300. So was that 1,300 mostly sewer charges? Is what they
Um,
told you?
it say past due 1,340. I'm about to just share my screen.
All right. So I just saved you over $4,000.
Yep, I owe you lunch. You want some? You want two conies when they 99 cents?
I want some starters. I want the surf and turf.
Oh, you rich.
Yeah, I want the starters on Plymouth.
Oh, we can go in the hood. I just got to make sure I got enough cash because
Yeah,
that's the cash only starters.
yeah.
I'm down. It got to be after the holidays. Starters gonna be banging next week.
Oh yeah. And
Huh?
the first of the month.
Facts. So let me share my screen. Wait, can I share? I gotta share. It's a
Did
PDF because I downloaded it. I wonder, can I? I don't think I.
Yeah, you can share. You just gotta pull it up, and when you hit present, it's gonna ask you which window you want.
Yeah, because it's actually a PDF that I downloaded. Let me see.
Yep. David said they had the 8 Mile wall that separated the rich from the poor. Really, it was the black from the white.
Yeah, it
That's
wasn't
what
rich
that
and poor.
wall was about.
It was two walls. It was that one. It was the one
On Alter
on
Road,
Road. Yep, that they
and that
tore
one got tore
down
down quick.
quickly because
The
Detroit was like,
commu-
"What is this?"
the community was like, nah. I know why they had it. I know, like, one of the issues was because when we talk about neighborhoods,
Uh-huh.
you cross right here, you Grosse Point, you right here is Detroit. And this wasn't the high end market of Detroit, right? So you're talking a median income in this particular area, maybe $20,000 compared to Grosse Point, where it was probably six figures or more. And they just had, they had a lot of complaints. People were just coming over, stealing cars, or doing whatever their complaints was, and they would drive over or come over and hang out or whatever. So they decided to put a wall up, and yeah, the community wasn't having it, and that
Mm-hmm.
that wall came down real quick. And a lot of people that complained about the wall and that was part of those organizations, they brought up that 8 Mile wall.
Yep, for they study.
Yep.
So here go the bill. I gotta find the old. It's on my laptop somewhere. So now I'm trying to see if I can call them back and get this zeroed out because it's never transferred to me. It's still in the previous person's name.
Did they didn't give you a new account number?
Nope.
They probably not gonna do it until that amount is paid then.
But I paid 1,300 over 7 band. It was close to 7,000.
Oh yeah, yep.
I won't pay it now. You know what? They probably gonna make me pay this before they do the water disconnect.
Yeah, they probably gonna yeah, because once you yeah.
Cause I gotta call it. So to get my demo price down, I gotta call and do all the disconnection myself, which I'm cool with because I need to know how to do that anyway. Cause I
Right.
think I'm gonna go get my demo license next year. Cause if I had my own demo license instead of me paying 25 grand, it'd probably cost me 10, 13 grand to tear that house down.
Oh, speaking of demo, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you buy in a tax auction, before you bid, you need to check with the city building and safety, whatever city you in, not just Detroit, whatever city you bid in, because the Wayne County auction is not just Detroit properties. Make sure the house is not on the demo list. You can get it deferred, but Run DMC and a song used to say, it's not funny when you buy a house with all you got, and the day you go to see it, it's a vacant lot. You don't want that to happen because they will still tear the home down for the simple fact that to get a home put on the demo list takes a long period of time, and then for them to have it in their budget. So when they're ready to demo, they're ready to demo.
Mm-hmm.
And all the city offices, the building and safety department don't always communicate with the county and all of these different departments. So when it's ready to be demoed, they're coming. So it might just be so happen demolition is scheduled a few weeks after you bought the property, right? Or even a few weeks before you bought. So you just have to do your due diligence and make sure, because if it is, you need to communicate that before you spend the money on the property. Or if you've already bought the property, check the demo list and reach out to the city and say, hey, I just brought this from the county and I plan on renovating this property.
Can you get your money back if you buy it and it's on the demo list and they demo it down?
It's gonna be hard. You're gonna and probably have to sue the county,
Because I
but they
think you
gonna,
should be able to, because like
but
y'all knew this was on the demo list.
but not necessarily though, because it might have just got added to the demo list, right? So, and again, they don't always communicate, or, I mean, yeah, but it's still they gonna put all the responsibility on you. So you need to check for blight notices, check for any if it's a less pendants on the property, meaning that the city filed a suit to put it on the demo list. Um, out yeah, just do that, and you'll be all right.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna answer some of these Instagram questions. Thank you for sharing the info on the thermostat. Did you get your thermostat?
My wife had showed me that clip. I don't know. I think she ordered it, or I got. We gonna get it because of you.
Mine came in the mail today. I'm gonna do a video. That
Oh,
boy was on the porch when I got home. I was like, "Come on, DTE!" Now I'm about to get one for Balfour, Kirchville, and Parker.
oh, okay. Yeah, we gonna get. She showed me that the day you posted it. She follow you. She see your post before I do, and I'm like, I thought I see everything Asia do. She be on it,
Yeah, your wife be cracking me up in the comments.
and she be like, Asia said. I'm like, who the hell is Asia? This my house. Asia said.
But you be like, "That's my friend."
You know,
All
that's
right, that's good. Hopefully y'all get them, and they got air purifiers on there, the good ones.
okay.
They got the nice LED lights that change color and all that. Like, and then they give you a discount on your bill too. I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So we gonna see. Somebody said, Reggie, how do you look for pre foreclosures on Remy or Remine? REMINE?
Remind. It's in there. You just go in and you do a search. When you so remind is two parts. Before remind allows us to send our documents. It's also an e-sign platform, but way before they allowed us as realtors to do the e-signing through remind, because before then everybody was using DocuSign and Dotloop.
Mm-hmm.
But remind has always had the information in there. I can filter out so I can filter out and I can put a list. Let's say I want to look for homes in Redford, people that own their homes for 10 or more years, people that have at least $80,000 in equity. I only want to look for 3-bedroom homes with X amount of square footage, people that are in pre foreclosure or have a default notice or some type of judgment or whatever the case may be, right? I can filter that out, and I can also look up just people that pay cash for their homes. So it's just a filtering process. Reach out to me. I don't know if you're an agent or not, but reach out to me. If you're not an agent, I can show you how to do it on other platforms.
Right.
Agent gonna tell you I should charge you, so I might charge you depending on how much information you want.
At
But
least what you said you wanted surf and turf from starters.
surf and turf from starters or Chick-fil-A for me and my wife, because she
Your cheapest bet
wait,
go.
she might want starters too though. I
I
don't
was
know.
gonna say if you get him starters, he need 3 orders, one for him, one to go, and one for his wife.
Yeah, my wife a foodie. She loves cooking and she cooks well.
Mm-hmm.
So restaurants don't really impress her that much.
I
I
respect
I
it.
just be liking the atmosphere. I just sometimes I just like going back to starters because I'll be wanting to hear some peasy or something. Well,
You know what I heard slap is a club celebrity.
oh, for real?
I heard they food be, but look, I ordered some on DoorDash or Uber Eats. I never got my food. The driver ate my food. I had
Oh, that's
real
crazy.
turkey chops with greens and yams. Never seen it.
See, I don't be wanting to go to the clubs. They do be having some good food.
Oh, it's
And
not a club. It's called Club Celebrity. It's a bar and grill
oh
on Plymouth.
yeah, yeah, I know. Okay, yep, I know which one you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I was like, I want to
Yeah,
go, but I don't want to go by myself.
yeah, yeah.
All right, let me see. What about container homes or maybe a single family 4 bed on the lot? You only can build on the lot what the lot is designed for as far as the space. You only got so much width and length. So a typical lot in Detroit is gonna be at least probably 30 across the front at the minimum.
Yeah, 30 by 100. You
Yeah.
might find something like 30 by 140 or 40 by 140. But usually 140 is the longest, and it's you typically between like 30 and 40 for the width. So you probably gonna be stuck building something similar that
Hmm.
was there, but you can build. The height can be a little bit higher depending on the neighborhood.
Yeah, and then the zoning, because if you go above
Yep,
what's there, now you got to get that approved. So, like when
yep,
I tear down Parker, if I can get that lot next to me, or if the one to the left ever get torn down, I'm gonna try to get that one. Then I'm gonna just build a 4 unit, or I
yeah.
might be able to do a 6 unit because the depth over there is pretty long, and I can go just 2, 4, 6. That
Okay.
so we gonna see. Uh, what's your opinion on them, and how do you do ARVs on them on the containers?
On ARV on the container homes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when we talked to what's his name from three squared.
Deshaun.
Yeah, Deshaun, he gave us like the cost per square foot. Really, it's gonna be hard. I would talk to an appraiser because you gotta factor in the comp sale in the area, but you can't really treat it like new construction yet. I don't think nobody's confident like new construction.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so you got price per square foot, area comps, and a year built, and you just got it's got to be a formula behind it, and I don't know.
That's honest.
So, but here's the thing though. So you got appraised value, and then you got market value. So, and we seen that a lot these past 4 years. We've seen homes come in and we looking at the comps, the appraisers say, okay, this house appraised for 300,000. And all of a sudden you see this home sell for 350. That's 350 is the market value. Because if you had three or four offers on it between 340 and 350, that's your new market value, which eventually impacts the future appraised values for the area. There's just not enough container homes out there, and it's hard to really comp them against homes in the area. But appraisers do have ways to make adjustments for it. One by the year built and the square footage. And if you're going to build a container home for your personal use, that's one thing. If you're building it to flip, then it's probably going to be best to build it similar to the highest comp sales in the area. So,
Yeah.
like, what I mean is like, if the average home in the area is 2,000 square feet, 3 bedroom, don't come in and build a 3,500 square foot container home expecting to get almost double in value. That's
Right.
probably not going to happen because the
Agreed.
market may not support it.
Agreed. Well, see, for me, I don't really care about no comp because I'm building mine the whole.
Yeah.
So yeah, ain't gonna bother me. Let me see. Oh, are any commercial properties at the tax auction?
Yeah, they have them.
All right,
Yeah.
let me
And
see.
most of them are on that, what do they call it? The premium list or they got a list. I think they call it the premium list. I forgot what the word was. But they do have commercial properties. Most of your storefront, like little small retail, like a old mom and pop restaurant or retail storefront or something like that. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of those used to be on there, but again, my friend Marcus, where my party was at, my hood surprise party.
Hey, I had so much fun.
Hey, so my wife threw me a surprise 50th birthday party. She had the Friday and then Saturday. So Friday she invited a mix of everybody, but Saturday she had like my coworkers and stuff like that.
Yeah, Saturday was the bourgeois night.
Yeah, but Friday was Friday was the Friday was the night. But that place that he was at, Asia, he paid $600 for that and then redid it, and it's right on Chicago. And so if anybody if anybody's on Chicago, it's called a house that Jack built, but he
Hmm.
don't have it. But he also used it for his construction business. So that part is like his private club. The other side is his offices and everything.
That's smart. Shout out to him. You know how many times I passed that building and never knew what was in there? I was like,
Yeah.
only Reggie would have us over here, bro. You like Emma. Emma be having us in spots like that.
Hey, I'll be all through the city.
Me too. I ain't mad at it.
Okay. I just can't announce where I'm going, where I'm gonna be at until after I leave.
Oh, ditto. For sure. Would you do a tiny home on the lot? Absolutely.
Yeah.
We got a whole tiny home community. I'm gonna talk to Deshaun about that. Probably since the weather's still been kind of okay. I'm gonna see what it's gonna be at the holiday and go over there and we can look at some and do a video. I think that'd be dope.
Yeah. Detroit got one of the first 3D model homes built.
It's by me. It's around the corner.
Yeah, one of my agents was working. So one of my agents is actually a licensed builder, but she do more consulting with people, and she was working with the people involved in that.
Yeah, the
So
outside of it is ugly to me, so I don't know what the inside look like, but
yeah,
I want to see how it's gonna hold up over a real Detroit winter.
yeah, because 3D homes is just all really cookie cutter. It's a template, and that's it. But
Mm,
eventually, we're gonna be in container homes and those type of homes, especially when we talk about low income housing and the homeless.
and modular homes and stuff.
Yep.
Uh, Here we go. What is the first thing you recommend doing once you get your deed?
Get insurance, then go to the water department. Get insurance as soon as you get ownership.
Yeah, and make sure your insurance includes fire protection.
Yep. Yeah. If the house is uninsurable through like standard basic insurance, like your big companies, they have like rehab policies. Um, I forgot what they call them, something risk policies where they insure the amount you paid for it plus the amount you're going to spend on renovations. But if something happens, like the property is damaged, your basis is what you paid for it, but then you're going to have to show receipts for how much you invested into the property up to that point.
Yeah. Your wife said y'all don't have a smart home. I don't think that matter with the DTE thing. The Google Nest is the thermostat. You just got to install it, and I think on the website it said you get a discount. I'm gonna go back and look, but I just saw that it was $40, and I was like, run this because this boy won 40 in Home Depot.
Right.
And I was like, oh, run that. She said she waiting for the next round of verses.
Your verses that you have.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
them
didn't even
dudes
know
will
that was
send in your DM or something like that.
yeah, it was two of them. I was like, wait a minute, who did
That's
this?
crazy. Hey, you want to know something low key? So, um, my wife, cause I watch a lot of stuff and I just be all over the place, but somehow it all relates back to real estate, right?
Facts.
So she was watching was it Casual Criminals or something like that on
Hmm.
YouTube. So in the feed start popping up swamp stories, and it'd be like these stories on like these different gangs or whatever, and they moved into these neighborhoods. But one particular episode was about Atlanta, and they was one guy. It was like one guy. He was like a GD. He moved to Stone Mountain, and the guy was sharing the stats like Stone Mountain had zero crimes, zero homicides, right? And then throughout the episode, he starts saying, okay, this person came from Philly and this, now all of a sudden it's this gang activity and these people was coming here because they was able to get Section 8 vouchers and all this. And he was showing the crime rate from one point from the start to now and thinking about how that impacts the real estate values and the market and the different areas, right?
Hmm.
So watching that, I was like, damn, you could take a neighborhood and it could turn bad or good. So when we talk about gentrification, right? Some of the areas that you mentioned, like shoot, 10 years ago, 5, 10 years ago that you was mentioning on Facebook, I'm like, man, these neighborhoods turned over just that quick,
Yep.
right? We talking about areas where you could buy a house for 25,000, and not just because the market rebound, they the values appreciated so quick because everybody was coming in at once and having a positive impact on the market values. So when I was watching that episode, and I was like, it's just the opposite effect, right? So it can be one turn of event or one group of people that come in and change the whole dynamics of an entire neighborhood or a city, right? So, um, yeah, it's just certain small things you got to watch out for. Like you was talking about when they start putting with the speed bumps
Yeah,
on these
that
streets.
the bike. Well, for me, it was the first. So I used to be a highway engineer, and so
Right,
I'll never forget we was on in the hood like Tireman and Evergreen,
right,
and we was over there tearing down houses and putting in new handicap ramps, and we put in them bike lanes. And I was like, y'all ain't never cared about my black ass on no bike. This like
right.
2007, 8, 9. Then we started doing all the ADA ramps because I don't know if you remember that big lawsuit where that guy got somebody got hit. I don't know if they died or whatever because there was no handicap ramps in the city. Then they just started putting them everywhere, and we
Yeah,
put them over there. And then they started doing the curves and the gutters. Then they started tearing down houses over here, and I was like, hmm. But then I started noticing Tireman and Evergreen borders Dearborn,
right,
which borders Redford, which borders Dearborn Heights. And then when I got into real estate, like in 2011, everything I learned on the highway made sense. So back in '08, I went to this meeting called the Detroit Future City Project. And I was a usher because I used to work for B whatever F engineering, and she needed some help doing the presentation. So I was helping. And I'm sitting here listening like, y'all talking about doing this in the North End where I grew up on Oakland and Westminster, this '08, '07.
right,
So everything I learned from the highway, I just brought into the company. And that's how I knew where everything was about to happen at 10, 15 years ago. So my
right,
early clients that listen to me, oh, they is up and stuck right now because all of them bought on the North End. I was like, buy here, buy here. I had houses on Leicester and Oakland, 2-family flats, 5, 10 grand because they owed taxes. And I just give them a little $600 because, back then people just wanted money to move with, and then flip it to them for like 15. Now, if I
right.
look back on, I wish I could have kept every last one of them.
Yeah, and then so that kind of tying to what I was saying, like you have to have your ear to the street, right? Whether it's good or bad, because you need to know what direction the area is going in.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes when people are bidding on an auction, they're just looking at, okay, I can do this price, this house is $5,000. And that's not the whole story because it just may not be a good investment. That area could be going down because the city as a whole is up on average, but some areas is just not going to rebound anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
So you just got to be mindful of what's going on and pay attention to the small details. Like I look at some areas, like to give you an example, there's areas where or neighborhoods where the homes may be $80,000 or $60,000, but there's no comp sales over there over 100,000. But when you go down these streets, you see all these dumpsters. You see people putting on brand new roofs. You see people gutting these houses. Anytime somebody gutting a house, you automatically 80,000 or more.
Mm-hmm.
So just because a neighborhood doesn't have comp sales that's 200 or 300,000, doesn't mean people are not investing 200 or 300,000 into them. They just brought them for 40 or 50, and you're not seeing the end result until either they decide to sell them at a future date or they're just buying them and moving in them. But they're still investing 200, 250 into these homes. You're just not seeing them as a sale. So you don't have any comps as a general public to say, oh, this area is coming up.
Yeah.
So start looking at how many dumpsters are in the area, how many renovations, full renovations are going on. And that's going to tell you how the money is moving in the area more than just the comp sales in that area.
Also, I'm gonna add to that. Pay attention to who is doing the rehab. If they don't look like us, that's a big sign. Because most others ain't coming in Detroit to do no rehab unless it's at least 150,000 or $200,000 contract.
Exactly. Yeah.
And how I knew Dexter Linwood Davidson was gonna pop, this was back in 2015. I had a client who bought a house on Cortland and Dexter from the land bank. She was
Right.
from California. She did not look like us. She lived in we did all the mechanicals. She did the rehab herself, her and her family, because she come from a construction family. They fixed up one room and all lived in that one room and did the rest of the house as they went. And I was like, this is stupid, but this is very smart. Because I don't know if I would do that, but now that I look back on it, that was smart as hell.
Yeah.
That was smart. Because she just needed us to do the mechanicals. And then after that, you can pull a homeowner's permit and do all the finish work, the drywall,
Right.
all that. So I was like, damn. But I don't think we would. I don't think black people would do that.
Yeah, you have something to do it, and the issue sometimes we have is when people do that, they don't do the work. They don't do quality work because I run across a lot of people and they're like, "Yeah, I did a lot to this house." Yeah, you did a lot, but it's not a lot of quality, right? So just because I put in a brand new furnace, well, a house should have a working furnace. So the market, I mean, no, because like somebody will come and they say, I'm gonna sell my house. I put in a brand new furnace, and yeah, furnace cost it does help something, but it's not gonna add 15,000 to the value of the property because the average consumer expect to have a working furnace in the house. So the difference
All right.
between a 5-year-old furnace and a brand new furnace to the average buyer in reality is not that big of a difference, right?
Yeah.
So it it's it's one of those things we have to think about. But overall, yeah, you right. The average person is not gonna live in their house and fix it up and make the sacrifice and have a $300,000 home several years from now that's free and clear.
See, I could be you because if I walk in the house knowing what I know, and the person be like, I did a lot to the house, I'm be like, where? Like
I
where?
I say it, but I say it in a way that I'm saying the same thing. I'm just saying it different.
You being polite. See, I'm too blunt. So I know the
No,
thing I'm gonna say gonna be where did you put the money at? Because I
I'm
don't.
straightforward. I'm saying, yeah, you did a lot of work, but it's just not up to the standards that that the market would support.
So
It's the same
you
thing.
hold them, but you did it in a you was low.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I took a class called Language of Sales. So but that class teach you how to do just that, right?
That's funny. That is funny. All right, here we go. If I bought a property and the squatter was there using utilities, would I have to pay those bills?
No, send a utility company your deed, and when you contact the utility company, they'll tell you if it's a theft. Usually they have a property tag for theft. If it's theft, they'll come out and shut it. Because some people stealing utilities from the pole, and they'll come and shut them off. So just make sure as soon as you get that deed, get insurance, contact all utility companies, get insurance first because whoever's there, once you start communicating with them and you piss them off, you're going to want to have your place insured.
Facts. Or they might, okay, so let's reverse it. You got the deed, you got utilities in your name, and then you got squatters and they using your utilities.
Yeah, they move in on you. That's why you got to secure the property.
True that.
Yeah. And as soon as you can get that house somewhat decent, or before then, you can put the dog system on there, or if you get it livable, find one of them uncles or somebody to just house sit. That's the
Yeah.
best security you can have. Just
Fact.
don't put no pit bull in the house.
Please, because
Let
they
it
get
sit there.
scared up.
That dog smell gonna be there. You might can't smell it no more, but it's different when somebody has a dog and they're living with the dog versus just leaving a dog in the house by itself. You know what I'm saying, for a period of time for protection. But yeah, don't. I see people do that. Well, I'm just gonna let my dog stay over there. Yeah, all right.
Now you didn't plan on gutting the house, now you got to. What's the T on the thermostat? I'm gonna put the link in the comments to the DTE marketplace. I gotta put the video on. I don't think it's on YouTube. It's only on TikTok and Instagram. DTE marketplace for thermostats. All right, the Coliseum on 8 Mile got great food. Ain't that a strip club?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going in there.
I only been in Coliseum once. I was more of a West Side strip club.
Oh, you been to Pantheon?
Yeah, and I remember All Stars and all that back in the day.
Okay, okay. So look, when I worked on the highway, we did all the ramps right there on 8 Mile. And what's that, Hubble?
Yeah. Oh
Ain't that
yeah,
all
yeah.
stars there? So I did
Yep.
go in there and give me some food and go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
This,
they
but this
stations
was
to
the day
slap.
shift, so it was cool. But other than
Yeah,
that, we were going in
my
there.
my old office when I had my brokerage was right on 8 Mile across the street. One of my agents used to take all his clients over there for lunch. Cause lunchtime the food was a little better. I think they was used to having like a business clientele at that time or something.
Well, I know I'll call you if I ever got that one client that's like, "Well, I'm not doing the deal unless you go to the strip club. I just won't get that deal then."
Yeah, I ain't going to strip club no more.
But yeah, I was married.
Yeah, I was married. I got some agents that I definitely take them to the strip club.
All right, bet. What's your thoughts on buying a commercial building to make a hall? I don't know what type of hall or like a hangout.
Um, yeah, like a party hall, something people can rent out for baby showers and all that. I think that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just be mindful, like where the location is and the size, right? But it's a lot more people doing that now than it used to be. But yeah, you can make money off of that. But I would try to make it multi-purpose. Like maybe you can rent it out to people that needs to do a pop-up shop or something. Just have other ideas because like just renting it for a baby shower or maybe it's big enough to do a cabaret or something like that or a birthday party. That's cool, but the problem with that most of the time is getting rented Friday, Saturday, and maybe Sunday. But throughout the week, you need to be able to have other events and stuff there as well.
Yeah, that's true. What is the best home insurance do you recommend?
Um, Ain't none of them paying me, so I ain't gonna recommend it. But there are some rehab um insurances. I do contact me. I have some good insurance agents I work with that can like shop different policies for you based on what type of coverage you're looking to get.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and again, my wife said with the halls, make sure the parking is right. I've
Yeah.
seen people buy spaces and it's only street parking, like on McNichols, on 6 Mile rather. They
Mm.
have they have places and it's a hall and you gotta park like on Griggs and on 6 Mile and traffic moving. That's that's not good if you got a hall that's trying to hold, 100 people or more.
Let's talk about areas to purchase deeds. You gotta elaborate.
Purchase these or purchase homes. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
'cause you can purchase a deed, right? I lived in Stone Mountains years ago. I love it.
Oh yeah, she probably was referring. Person was referring back to that.
Yeah. What about
So
the lots and homes near the Ford train station? Oh, you gotta have some money over there now.
yeah,
That's over. When they announced that train station, they said prices over there went up. I forgot how much hundred of a percent, but it was more than double.
yeah, and yeah, just like we look at now, like I know, like you look at like Cass Corridor and Court Town and all that.
Mm.
People that used to be like a ghost town, and it'd just be a bunch of homeless people over there. Now it's just you just got to be in the know and know what's going on.
And you gotta pay attention to the signs. Like I'm telling y'all, if they just all of a sudden like I don't remember growing up, they used to just be cleaning the streets. Like now they got the street sweepers out. It's like little stuff like that you just start noticing. The bike lanes, putting the speed humps is a big one.
Yeah,
Bike lanes is big. Cleaning the curb, the sewers and stuff like that with the street sweeper, that's big. Like it's just little stuff like that. Like, on the end of my block, they just built a 12 unit like condo or something like that. I don't know if they for rent or was for sale, but they already full.
Yeah, I can believe it.
I was like, dang, and they did it pretty fast. I think they modulars.
Well,
Hmm.
we know something up if they bring the swimmobile back.
Oh, it's OV. I'm jumping in.
It's over. You know, the swimmobile is just a big container.
Yeah, it was probably
It's like
nasty,
a container home. Yep.
but that was before my time. I think that was like the '70s and '60s.
Yeah. Man, now that I think about it, that was nasty. It wasn't nothing but a big container with water in it, and all the kids come on the block. You ain't have to. They ain't check to see if you was clean or nothing. They just let you jump in,
That's just
and you could. It wasn't even really big enough to swim in. It was just water on
not
the dump truck.
not sanitary at all. But I bet y'all had a blast.
Yeah, it was a lot of chlorine in there though.
Bleach too, probably.
Yeah, it
Thanks for that info about parking. I thought street parking was good enough. This must be a man, because a man thinks like that. A woman, we always gonna think about parking, the lighting
Yup, the
outside. That's
lighting.
important because we got to walk to and from. Security in general, have a security guard walking the women to their cars. That goes a long way. Little stuff like that.
Yup, in some cities or in some areas of the city, they won't even let you buy it and use it as a hall if you don't have adequate parking. So sometime they're gonna tell you got to have a parking plan in place.
Hmm. I think that's all the questions I see. Do anybody selling properties? Reggie is a licensed broker, so he always selling properties. I'm selling. Parking is important. Yep. Is Detroit Airbnb friendly, or is it better to rent?
Better, man, you about the Airbnb market about to get crazy because like a lot of cities, especially in some of these neighborhoods, they um they just not liking Airbnbs because with tenants, you expect to have the same person there as
Yeah.
consistency. But with the Airbnb, some of these areas, the neighbors complaining that we look up every other day as somebody different. They partying. You just don't have any control over it.
Yeah.
So
Being the big corporations, is they losing money.
yeah, and so yeah, uh,
What do they call it? Lobbyists or something?
Airbnb is that's one of them things like you got to do it and get it while the getting's good, but you got to have an exit plan. You can't rely on it unless you're in a city that's really a tourist town, where it's kind of expected. But like to try to force it on a city like where it's not really necessary, we got adequate hotels and stuff like that. It's gonna be hard. And then you got so many little small cities where they just don't want to deal with it. I wouldn't make that a plan unless I had like a cottage or something somewhere
Mhm.
where it's just all visitors mostly. Then that makes more sense. But just trying to put them right in the middle of the city nowadays is just not the way to go.
I think Airbnb only works honestly downtown, Courtown, Midtown,
Yep.
by the fort. Well, that's still Courtown. When you get into the neighborhoods, it gets a little tricky because most of our average houses in Detroit only got one bathroom. Most
Yeah.
people want two. Until you get into the historic neighborhoods, Rosedale Parks, and so forth, then you got multiples. But I don't think no Airbnbs over there. That's all homeowners.
Yeah. I had a client that had an Airbnb on in a 12,000 block of Stout, a little frame bungalow,
Mm-hmm.
and they had an Airbnb. He was making good money off of it for a while, but he just started having too many issues, people coming in. Then he was the first person I heard to say he never wanted to rent to people that was local, only visitors. Because everybody local he was renting it to was just renting it to throw parties in. So he kind of changed his whole investment strategy just based on a couple bad experiences with that one.
I've
So
seen
it's
stuff like Airbnbs I've gotten in other states, and they will have their owner, no local stuff like that.
yeah.
So I
So
can, and you got to be over a certain age or something. They want you to be 25 and up.
yeah. So yeah, it's good. Just depends on where it's at. You can make a lot more money, and you can probably make more money on an Airbnb in 1 year than you could having it as a rental for several years. But again, every city can. These cities change their requirements every year. They change their laws. Um, it just depends on how they feel 1 year to the next.
Hmm. They bring the swimobile back. Oh, I don't know. I think we were just talking. No, female. Oh, she's a female. My bad. I was thinking just having an off-duty officer. Oh no. Gotta have like, well, at least in the big city and here in urban Detroit, you gotta have light, and then you need the bright five. I do the 5,000K the daylight bright lights. That's like a car lot. I have my house lit up.
So here's the other thing: how much that off-duty officer gonna cost you every time you rent it? Cause they ain't gonna be cheap.
True.
Yeah. But I mean that got to be all part of your business plan. But
Yeah.
yeah, I would love to go somewhere where it's an officer on site in case something jump off.
You know he alert. Okay,
But
what do
it
you think about?
depends on which officer too, because that show I was telling you we watched,
Yeah.
one of the guys, one of the guys, he went to the military, came home, became an officer, and then ended up joining the GDs. And I'm like, what the hell is he thinking? Like he just wanted to be a gang member. He was giving them like information and stuff. I'm like, this can't be real. And I looked it up and it was real. I'm like,
Oh, this
come
is
on.
like they did reenactments, like snapped or something.
Nah, it's kind of like that format, but they're just showing you all the facts and data, and then they'll like post their photos and stuff. Some of these dudes probably is like rappers, and everybody got an Instagram where like this one group, that's funny too. Like one of the gangs, they robbed one of the NFL players. They robbed Mariah Carey house. She ended up selling her house for 655,000 less than the market value just because she wanted to get out of there. Because
That
she moved there from LA because it happened to her in LA. Then when she moved to Georgia, it happened. She was just like out. And then they broke into somebody from like one of them housewives shows or reality shows in their house, and then they robbed future baby mama house or something. But it was
I
just
remember this. This was recent, like last couple years.
Yeah, but it was like this one crew, but two of the guys was like rappers. They was like local rappers for that area, and they was making money off of that. But it was just like they crew. This what they was into, and I'm like, so that's what made me when I was talking earlier when I was like how it impact real estate values. Can you imagine something happening in your area and somebody like in Palmer Woods or something be like, I'm gonna just sell my house for 300,000 or 400,000 less than what it's worth just because this happened, right? Not because I'm in foreclosure, not man. If that happened often enough, you'll bring down a whole market in that area.
Yeah,
That's a lot of money to just leave on the table. But
that's.
I mean, your safety more important, but still,
But I wonder how they be finding out. They got to be inside y'all. Like, how do y'all even know where these people
they
live?
was watching people on Instagram, and all them people was showing what they got in their houses. But they probably had somebody on the inside telling them where people stayed at.
Yeah, because I'm like, all the security I'm sure they got at their house with the high tech cameras. They ain't got no ring cameras.
Yeah,
They got
but
high tech $10,000 sets probably. All
uh,
right, we're gonna take one. This the last question. Well, we got two. I see two. What is considered a full rehab on a house when it's gutted to the studs? What do you
yeah,
think about Airbnb on Dexter two bath?
on
Yeah,
Dexter, Dexter and what? Like it depends. Are you talking about by Russell Woods or are you talking about Finkel? Dexter is different Dexter.
or Davidson.
Yeah, yeah. So
Well, I don't know. You got a little pocket over there. You got Broad Street and all that where them nice houses at. I think that's Russell Woods.
yeah, that's Russell Woods.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: your Airbnb, your most profitable Airbnb is gonna be near a hospital, preferably a hospital that does any type of transplants, or near college. Or it's a vacation town, right? Like it's where people go skiing or people go camping at or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the ones in the city do make money, especially if you got quick access to downtown and the freeways. The issue is the city can change their mind about Airbnbs at any given time. So whatever plan you got working now may not work next year. So what would be your exit strategy? So
Right.
if you're going to do it, you need to make sure you can milk as much money out of it as possible. Hopefully enough, if you got a mortgage on it, hopefully you made enough money to pay it off and still be profitable. Or just rent it, take it from the Airbnb and make it a regular rental and still be profitable with it. But yeah, I'm just not big on single family Airbnbs in certain areas because it's just not a big enough draw.
Yeah, they said that's they're close to the boulevard.
Yeah. I would say too, search the other Airbnbs you see and look at their vacancy rates. Look how much they're renting for, and look at the vacancy rates. Because if you got something that's vacant 70% of the time,
Yeah, now
like
you risking it getting broke in and squatted, especially now it's about to get cold. Mm-mm.
yeah,
If I don't sell, well, I'm keeping it. And you know what? I think me keeping Balfour is actually gonna work out for the greater good because I've been using it as a showroom. Because clients that come in like, "Can I see your work?" Yep, and we go over there.
yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I might just end up keeping it like that. And
And Google, there's some depending on what city you in, their rental laws is so crazy. People will move into Airbnb, they'll rent the Airbnb and won't move out. And
mhm.
now it falls under landlord tenant court in some cities, and you got a whole nother headache.
I seen that video with a dude. He living in the van in his van because
Yeah, because yep, the lady won't leave.
see
Yep.
how
So
to get hurt. I think that was, where was that at? I seen somebody posted it today. Some landlord, I guess the tenant wasn't paying rent and the landlord set the house on fire.
yep.
And I was like, although that's wrong, I understand. I do understand. Oh, that's my alarm. I do understand. So let me see. Oh, that was the same question. Mobile. The good thing is Detroit doesn't have many, and the ones they have aren't really up to par. I guess they talking about the Airbnbs. Yeah, once
Yeah.
you get outside of downtown and stuff, now in the burbs they pretty nice when you get like in Grosse Pointe, Warren and stuff.
Yeah. And
You
you can get some in Detroit, but it just got to be the right area, and it has to make sense. It has to. You got to think of yourself as a visitor. If I'm visiting Detroit, where would I most likely want to stay? And if I stay somewhere a little less expensive and it was in a neighborhood, what would I like that neighborhood to look like?
true.
Right? And what do I want to be around? Like if I was staying in an Airbnb off of Livernois and I never been here and I was between 7 and 8 mile, but not even like University District, maybe on the west side of 8 Mile where they got the little brick bungalows like north of Auto Drive, I
Mm.
probably would consider that and walk up to Avenue of Fashion and shop and do all that stuff
You
and
talking
then
about like the Outer Drive and Living North, where them ranches at?
yeah,
Oh yeah,
yep.
nice right there.
Yeah, I would stay like on Manor or somewhere over there. I could see somebody staying in an Airbnb over there and experiencing that area, and then hopping on 8 Mile, going over to the Lodge of 75, and going down and checking out a game or something like that.
All right, last question, and I can't wait to answer this one. Davidson 6 Mile, St. Alban is rough right now, but they are tearing down all the houses by the waterworks, cheap land. I'll tell you exactly what they got planned. The Joe Louis Greenway. If you just Google Joe Louis Greenway Detroit, the whole map is going to pop up and it's going through there. So if you just see them just tearing down blocks, and I mean blocks of houses, that Greenway coming over there. Excuse me.
One of the best things that ever helped me with real estate investing was learning the stock market, learning options, and learning my risk tolerance, right? So a lot of people, like, we're talking about what's to come. So if you buy a bunch of land, first, can you afford to hold it until things turn around? So for example, you buy a couple vacant lots, $500 a piece, right? And you paying taxes on them. You may get hit with a few blight notices over the years. People may dump on the land, so it may cost you a couple thousand for each lot to clean it up every time they dump on the land. You may have to build a fence around it. Whatever it's gonna cost. Let's say it costs you 1,500, 2,000 a year to keep those lots for 10 years, right? 2,000 a year for 10 years, that's $20,000, right? At the end of 10 years, what is the lot worth? If it's not worth more than $10,000, what were you doing it for? Or 20,000 rather, right? So you almost have to be certain something's going to happen, or you can make something happen without waiting on a third party to act, right? So the reason I brought up the stock market is you have some stocks that you buy, they're not really appreciating or going up like some other stocks, but they're paying dividends. So you're still making some money. Some stocks don't pay any dividends, but you buy it at the right price and it jumps up $10. Next month it jumps up $20. And next thing you know, it's up, $80 more than what you paid for it. Right. But then you also have some stocks that they'll drop in value, but they'll come back double a year or two from now. What's your risk tolerance? Did you just buckle under pressure and sell them? Because you paid 80 for the stock, now it's worth 45, and you was like, oh, I hate this stock, and you sell it, and then it bumped back, and now all of a sudden it's worth 120. So with some of these lots, you have to decide, what am I going to do with this land if this this other city development or whatever else never comes along? Because one thing about waiting on the government is you will be waiting on the government, and we don't know how long that's going to be. Some stuff is already in motion, so if you can get ahead of that and it comes your way, that's fine. But sometimes, as we know, it just don't happen overnight. But when it do happen, it's big. So, but I know a lot of people that brought vacant lots and they still waiting, and they brought in areas where it was just nothing happened. Somebody on the street, word of mouth, told them it was gonna happen, but they ain't had no proof behind it. So when you mention, like, this is what's going on, I went to a meeting, I went to this meeting, and this is what the plans are. They already earmarked money for this. Then that's when you get ahead of it. But
Yeah, cause we
some,
still got time with the Greenway. Cause
yeah,
the area that I'm buying in, they not starting in 2027.
exactly. You know how many people buy vacant lots and then they end up back on a tax sale, auction sale between now and 2027 because
Mm-hmm.
they can't afford to hold them
Yeah,
or maintain them.
but a lot. I tell people a lot is gonna be easier to maintain in the house, of course.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, you definitely gotta consider that. I just made a notes when I do my thing in Philly. I'm gonna make sure I highlight that because people out of state really think you can just buy the house and that's it, as if you don't have to do other stuff like security, keep the grass stuff like that. I'm trying to see. I think that's all the questions. So thank you again, Reggie, always for coming on. I appreciate you. I'm gonna call Deshaun to see if he can come on here because he ain't did a container one in probably like over a year, and I'm sure he got updates and stuff.
Yeah. And I think I don't know, I think they finished that Elmhurst project or something like that. I seen him post something about it.
He might have out. So look about that Amherst part. It's a two family, right?
Yep.
So I had got that contract, but I turned it down because I had never done containers, and I'm gonna be honest, I was scared. I was scared shitless. And I'm like, y'all willing to give me 300 something plus thousand, and I've never done this. I was like, I don't feel comfortable. So in return, they respected that. They like, wow, we wasn't expecting that because most contractors would take it and that be that. And I was like, no, but in return, Three Square is offering to help me, like by partnering with me with some like bigger GCs and stuff so I could learn it. And I was like, I think that to me is worth more $300,000 any day, or ruining, a relationship and stuff like that. So they was like, you turning this down? Like, I ain't never did this shit. Like, no, it didn't sit right. I don't feel comfortable taking these people money, and I know I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
So
That was smart.
yeah,
Yep. And then you can work under another GC and learn the ropes, and then you can learn from all their mistakes.
exactly. And then
Yep.
they was like, I was like, y'all don't have to pay me. Oh, my only request is that you allow me to film it. That's my only
Yep.
request, and then I can do what I want with the film. So if they
Yeah.
agree with that, it's on.
And then in 2 years from now, you'll be training other GCs on how to do it.
See, that's why we friends.
Yeah. That's that Aquarius.
Yeah, see, that's why I want
Yeah.
to. That's why I want to film it
Yep.
and edit it and stuff like that. Man, I could probably sell that for 10 grand, easy.
Yep.
Because I'm already working on the GC course, and then when that's done, I'll just add the people who already like buying early. I just add that to it.
Yep. Let's go.
I think that's gonna be cool. Good stuff. Thanks. All right, Reggie. Well, thank you again, always for coming on. I appreciate it.
All right.
I guess have a good. What's today? Yeah, today Thursday. This year is gone. This is crazy.
Yeah, it's gone. I think today was my last day being able to golf. Maybe Saturday. So
Yeah, it was
yeah, the
nice.
year is over for me.
Nice. I got the grass cut today because I seen everybody else been cutting their grass like the last 2 weeks, and I'm like, okay, maybe I should get my grass cut too.
Yeah.
I thought my final cut was second week of October. I guess not.
Yep.
But all right, I'm about to go. You have a
All
safe
right.
day. Night. Good night, rather I should say. Tell the she probably on here. Hello, wife.
All right. Have a happy holiday and all that good stuff. If I don't
Yeah,
see you, I'll probably be there tomorrow. That's right. I forgot.
yeah. Come on, we're
Yep.
gonna have a good time. We
Yeah.
like to make you talk.
I'm gonna slide through.
Yeah, bring your cards or QR codes and all that good stuff.
All right.
All right, see you later, and thanks
All right.
again.
All right.
Bye. All right, for everybody that's still on here, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you, Reggie, again for being on here. A couple announcements. Tomorrow is the free real estate Friday event at Detroit Pizza Bar. I know a lot of y'all ain't signed up, so just come anyway. It's starting at 6. Well, the doors open at 6:30, but we probably not gonna start honestly to 7:30, 8ish, because it's Friday. We want to give people time to get comfortable, get them something to eat, get their little drink or two or whatever, and come on in. We're gonna get rolling, and it's gonna be a good time. The topic tomorrow is how to, I think it's either how to finish a deal or how to get to the finish line, but we're just gonna break down a deal in general, like the steps. And this is really for like new people who are new to real estate, as far as either a homeowner or investor and so forth. So it's gonna be dope. Also, I put the link in the comments to the DTE marketplace, and it's also in my link tree for those on Instagram. Yeah, it's on my link tree. You got to scroll down to it, say DTE something marketplace or something. Also, I'll be speaking the second weekend in December 9th, actually, in Philly at Nicole Purvis event. That link is in my link tree as well. Use code Asia to save money on your ticket. I don't know how much you'll save, but I know you'll save some money. So I hope to get to see y'all in Philly, and I'll definitely be going in depth about investing in Detroit remotely, not even being here. I do suggest that you do come if you've never been, but you better come soon because we about to hit a good winter. But thanks for tuning in, y'all, and I will see y'all next month. Deuces.